With us now is State Representative Tammy Exum, Democrat of West Hartford. Representative Exum, good to see you here.
Thank you.
So the legislative session begins in a couple weeks, but for you, this is going to be a different session.
Yes.
You have some news that you broke this past week. Tell me about it.
Yes, absolutely. It will be a different session for me for two reasons. One is that I have decided after a lot of deep thought and conversations not to seek re-election for the next cycle, which would have been my fourth full term. Also, I think because of that decision, it will help me to really relish the time that I have there, the work that I have there, understanding this is a place that I won't exactly return to in the same way again. And the work that we do is significant and important, from the relationships to the bills to the community. And so I think it will really help me to appreciate it it's like a slow, long goodbye.
Was there a major factor in deciding not to run again? Because you seem to enjoy it.
Honestly, there is. I do enjoy it. I enjoy it very much. So this is very difficult, but I know it is the right decision at this time. I had a significant loss. My husband died very suddenly, October 1st, 2023, and transparently, our lives have never been the same. And I decided, how do I really best want to use my time, and how do I feel I'd be most effective? First, it's kind of like on an airplane, you put your mask on first, and I need to pivot, make sure my family and different things are all set. But in addition to that, there's work that has come as a result of his passing that I want to spend more time with, and specifically around heart health and the coronary calcium scan.
Let's talk about Earl Exum. He was a well-known executive for a long time, and I would see him around town. He was a coach. He was really well-known and well-liked. A lot of friends in West Hartford and really across Connecticut, and his death was sudden and certainly shocking at a young age. But you introduced a bill last year regarding health that you believe, if that had existed, maybe it would be different.
Right. So what I found, and the way that I found about coronary calcium scans is really in the worst way. After my husband passed, we had an autopsy performed, and when I received the results from the chief medical examiner, two things. He was very shocked because my husband was so healthy, and he was like, he's this healthy specimen. He really should not have died. And I said, well, what happened? It was the widowmaker. And I said, we didn't know he had heart disease. We were just starting to wonder if some things may be happening, but it looked like indigestion. And he said, had he had a coronary calcium scan? Have you heard of that? And I said, I don't know what that is. Tell me about it.
So I've had one, as you know much about it,
yes.
and and I did it after that, and they, insurance doesn't cover it, right, or
Correct.
did not, so you have to pay for it. I believe it was $99 or, or something like that. But you argued that it should be covered by insurance.
Absolutely. So what I wanted to do was to build awareness and also have it covered by insurance. We weren't able to have private employers or public employers to do this, but we were able to have state employee plans now cover this test. And as you said, it can range from $99 sometimes to $150. Sure. The test takes 3 to 5 minutes.
It's easy.
It's
and not
easy.
invasive.
You don't take your clothes off, nothing. It's very quick. And it's one of those things, again, where we don't look at the prevention cost first. My husband would have needed a stent, is what the coroner said. A stent would
and people live for years after.
And people live for years after, but it's still way more invasive than this test. He said to me, and this, the chief cardiologist with whom I work out of Stanford Hospital, Dr. Schuster, said, we test our breast, we test our colons, we test our prostates. This is a test for our heart. Yeah. It is an inexpensive test. And now I'm telling people about it. It's a part of the work that I want to continue to do. And I tell people, look, it's the only test you want to flunk. Yeah. 0 is a perfect score.
Absolutely.
And let's go for that.
So you had success with that bill.
Yes.
What's on your agenda for this year?
So one of the things that that also brought me back is in 2022, I was a part of writing and co-leading a piece of legislation. It was concerning children's mental health, and now we've extended that children's behavioral health. It was our landmark and our biggest bill. It was at that time. It passed both the House and the Senate completely. We had $300 million dedicated to it, and we've been working on behavioral health issues ever since. The last portion of this 73-section bill, the last portion, built this committee called Transforming Children's Behavioral Health Policy and Planning Committee. I am a tri-chair of that, created that. There's a Senate and an OPM chair. We have been working very diligently with partners within the behavioral health space for children. We've been working with all the agencies, parents. This came out of during COVID. You may remember the children in the hospitals.
That's
Remember
right.
in the emergency
Yep.
rooms? That was a driver for some of this work, and it is broad. I care deeply about this. And so I came back to, I still chair this committee, and it's continuing to build. So this session, and it's a year-round committee, we are operationalized through Tao Youth Justice Center at University of New Haven. And we are continuing our work. We're continuing to build out on the many things that we've been doing. And it was a part of what we had to go back through with special session to make sure we had that bill passed, so that we're building is iterative in nature.
And a final question for you. A few weeks ago, as you know, I ran into you with my daughter, who had never met you before, and later she's telling some friends about it. And she didn't say, hey, I met State Rep Tammy Exum today. I met Kyle Exum's mother. So Kyle Exum, younger people definitely know, he's a big deal. He's a performer, he's a writer. Tell me about him.
So Kyle is pretty awesome. Kyle graduated
Like 8 million
high
followers.
school. Something like that. And he's one of these, it's funny because wherever I go with Kyle, I don't care where I travel, he's recognized. But he's a content creator. I call him a writer at his core. He's been a writer who's been able to make comedic skits. He's made books, he does music, and he's talented. He's worked for himself. He graduated Howard University, and he ended up, doing, this has been his business. He's never worked for anyone else. He started when he was about 15, 16 years old, and he's continued. This is what he does.
His songs are catchy.
His songs are catchy. He's so creative. He always has been. The outfits, it kind of was embarrassing. He started with the mom rap, and people were like, "You're a good sport," and I was like, "That's not me." But
well, he did say "mom" in there. I wondered about who he was making fun of.
I was like, "This is a collective mom. This was a collective mom." But we are so proud of him, and interestingly, Kyle will be getting married.
Oh, good.
In June, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Well, we'd love to have him on this program one of these
thank
days. So
you.
next time he's in town. So Tammy Exum, State Representative from West Hartford. Best of luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And Kyle will have to teach me how to do that dance. We also invite you to follow Tammy Exum on social media to learn more about the foundation that she has created in her late husband's memory. And we invite you to connect with us on This Week. Send us an email at thisweek@WTNH.com. You can also connect with me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. This Week in Connecticut, we'll be right back.